Hello, today I'm going to briefly talk about the topic of Darwinism versus Genesis. And in Genesis, it says in 131, chapter 1, verse 31, that it was very good of the creation week. And as a Seventh-day Adventist, we believe in a literal creation, so we don't believe that there was bacteria leading after billions of years, to fight for survival and irregular designs of organisms and whatever until humans arrived. And so we don't believe in death or sin. We don't believe that God is calling the fight for survival very good, etc. We believe that God is loving and kind, and that in the New Jerusalem, that the animals will, like in the Garden of Eden, live peacefully together again. And now I'm aware there's all kinds of arguments either side, and people could argue that there's the fossil record, etc., etc. However, there are also other arguments, and for example, Darwin knew nothing about DNA, which is vastly complex. We know about well, we're still learning, in fact, about the complexity of the brain, and it's just incredibly complex. There's irreducible complexity. We have all the different organs in the body, and which came first, the lungs or the kidneys or whatever. And then we have to have all the different features in the body as well, such as the nervous system and so on. So it's just an incredibly complex organism. And I believe that it takes really a lot of faith to believe in it. And now, again, I'm not criticizing, just to make clear, anyone who believes in evolution. I used to believe it myself, read books about it, and that was the only perspective I heard. Now, there are all kinds of arguments against evolution that can be made. I mentioned a couple already in terms of DNA and so on. And and these arguments can carry on forever. However, more importantly than that is the plain reading the Bible. Are we going to accept the Bible as it's just apparently plainly set forward for us to understand a certain viewpoint? Or are we going to try and make some massive, complex detour, perhaps in the plain reading? And equally, in terms of the God we serve as creationists, we believe that God is good, God is love, and that is displayed in the Garden of Eden. The fall was never God's will or intention, and he's going to restore the earth in Jerusalem. And so, therefore, if you hold to the position of evolution, I would just recommend reading the Bible again and seeing what it says. And obviously, you may be very familiar already, and to see that the straightforward reading is that there was a literal creation. And also to consider that if you do hold to that position, what would be the character of God? And I'd say the default position must be that God is good, creation is true, and that evolution is a very complex idea. However, there's also very complex concepts on the other side, making arguments for creation. And but ultimately, we need to go by the Bible for Christians. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so thank you for listening, and please feel welcome to continue the conversation in the chat.